I am humbled by all the attention my last video received. I don't know what I did differently, but I am happy to welcome so many new people on my channel. I have to say, though, that I am grateful for everyone who has been here since day one. What helped me the most with my last video was all of the comments that I received, because it doesn't matter how long I have been doing tarot card readings. I will always be like, does this make sense to the person? Does this really resonate? I don't know. I'm not sure. But thanks to your comments, I know that the messages actually fit. And what astonished me is that due to my last video, a lot of older videos, not a lot, I mean, there are not so many, but some of my older videos also received some attention. And especially one of them, one video had a pretty crazy message in it. It was the your love life, past, present, and future reading. I don't want to say which group it was, because if it is meant for you, you will find that reading. If not, then not. But I was always thinking that the message in that video is so crazy. I wonder if it will ever find the person it is meant for. And I think now, after a few months, it actually did. But now we will get into your October reading. I already recorded group number 1, 2, and 3, and I can say that they are more or less connected. So if you feel drawn to multiple groups, it would absolutely make sense, but that is up to you. That is completely up to you. You make the choice. It is your reading, and we will see what comes out. One thing I have to say, though, that since this morning I have been listening to the same song over and over again, and in between readings also, and only in between readings, so not during the day, but while I was shuffling for each group, I realized what the song actually said. And then I realized that it has to do with your reading. So it's an older song. It's by Mika, and it's called Any Other World, but I will link it down below. And it has the line, say goodbye to the world you thought you lived in, because everything is changing now, and it is changing for the better. Enjoy your pick a card reading. Hi, group number 1, and welcome to your October reading. I can give you the most important message right away, which is that you are done with the bad times. The difficult times are over now, and the good times are starting now for you. And here's what happened. I shuffled all of your cards off camera, and the message is so clear. I did not need any clarifier, but I still have a bunch of oracle cards for you anyway. The message for you is so obvious, and it only took me a few minutes. It's not always like that. Sometimes it takes me longer, which is why I shuffle off camera, so I can meditate on the message and see what it really means, what everything is telling me. But for you, even though it only took me a few minutes, I did not get up right away and started recording, because that was about an hour ago, and by now I could have finished your recording already, but I didn't. Instead, I took my phone I leaned back on my bed and started scrolling on YouTube for actually no reason at all. And then I understood everything. Everything makes sense now. You have been through difficult times for a very long time, and we are not talking about weeks. I think we are talking about years, which doesn't mean that every single day in the past few years was horrible or sad or depressing or whatever, but still, so the underlying feeling was not positive in the past few years, I think. Maybe months for some of you, but I actually think it was a very long time. And when so I'm in your energy. Okay, so I'm thinking how can I deliver the message? I'm in your energy, and you understood that the good times are starting now, but part of your past self creeped up and wanted you to slow down once again, to start a doom scrolling once again, which is something that I do often as well. So no judgment, but we know that that's not a good thing to do. And now here's the next thing. I came across a video by a creator. Unfortunately, I don't know his name. I could have actually maybe inserted the clip here or something, but I did. Okay, whatever. Just let me tell you the story. I came across a creator, and I haven't seen his videos in a long time. So I don't know the YouTube Shorts algorithm, however it works. I don't know. But I remembered a certain clip that he created a long time ago. And it's a sketch. It's actually a comedic sketch, but he uses the Christian Hill song, Oceans. Is it Oceans? I think so. I'm not Christian, but I really, really like that song. And I have it on my phone too. And here's the thing. I'm recording this in the evening. And today in the afternoon, I listened to the song for the first time in a very long time, not knowing that it was actually connected to your reading. So in the afternoon, I already received messages by your spirit guides. And now everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. You had a short conversation with God. I am not kidding. I am absolutely serious when I say that. And I will tell you what it was exactly at the end of your reading, not to tease the reading, not to tease the ending of the reading, but because I think you guys are here to see what the cards have to tell you. And I want to show you guys the cards. So for everyone else who is interested in what message I was, no, how should I say, what kind of download I received. Yeah, that's actually correct. What kind of download I received. You can stay here until the end of group number one's reading. Now we will get into your cards. Okay, so I shuffled these tarot cards, and these are the Cozy Witch tarot cards. They are a bit different because they have a message on every single card. I mean, a lot of tarot cards do, but the classic tarot cards don't. Anyway, first I will show you all of the cards, and then we will talk about the messages. The first one is the Four of Pentacles. This is the first one. Then you got the Sun. I mean, can it be any more obvious than that? Then you have the Seven of Pentacles. You got the King of Cups. And lastly, the Ten of Pentacles. And I think it's quite important what the cards have to say. I don't always look at the message that's written on the cards, but here I do, especially with the first one. I knew that it was positive right away, but I have to point it out because the Four of Pentacles can really be interpreted one way or the other. And yeah, sure, we can do this with every card, but with some cards, it really depends on the context. Some cards are obviously positive, like the Sun, for example. But with some cards, it really depends on the context. And that's the case for the Four of Pentacles. But for you, it is very positive, group number one. So this card says, it's in a different language, so I have to translate. This card says that you should spend some money on yourself every once in a while. Okay, so I mean, don't burn through all of your savings. That's not what it says, but it says you can get yourself every once in a while something. Now I have an image in my head. It's pink flowers Maybe you like flowers, maybe you like having flowers at home, but you don't buy them often. Yeah, I see flowers in my head right now. Maybe you always walk past the flower shop and you always say, oh my God, they're so beautiful. But then in the end, you don't buy anything. So your spirit guides are telling you that you can do that every once in a while. That's a good thing. You can do that for yourself. And then we have the sun. I mean, come on. Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting what the card has to say. It says, allow yourself, give yourself permission to have fun. And I think this is something that you need to hear, group number one. You have been serious for a very long time because you had to, okay? So this is not me calling you out or something, not at all. You had to be in a serious mode for a very long time. For example, when you were asked out on a weekend, you didn't go. Okay, so when your friends asked you to go out with them on a weekend, you didn't go because you felt like you have stuff to do at home. But maybe in the end, you actually didn't do that stuff at home. And sometimes it's this feeling of, this is especially the case for people with ADHD or OCD, for example, people with anxiety. You have an appointment, let's say on Wednesday, but it's Saturday now. And your friends want to go out with you, or I don't know, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, or you just have plans on your own. Maybe you want to go to a certain place. I don't know, some kind of event is in your city that usually doesn't take place. But because you are nervous about that appointment you have on Wednesday, you don't go out on Saturday. And now your spirit guides are telling you, allow yourself to have fun. You can absolutely forget the difficult things for a moment. And in fact, if you allow yourself to have fun, it will lighten up the mood. It will lighten your heart, the heavy load you're carrying with you. It will raise your vibration, and the difficult things will not be so difficult anymore, especially now. You are transitioning heavily now with the eclipse, especially you, group number one. Okay, so I'm not saying this to every group, but actually I don't know because I haven't shuffled for group number 2 and 3 yet. But right now it's us talking. Okay, so the transition when it comes to your life is quite severe and very positive, very positive. Now I have another image in my head. For a few days now, this has been crazy. I received so many messages. Okay, anyway, what did I want to say? No, interrupted myself. Oh yeah, what I'm seeing in my mind is from the Light CS Tarot. Maybe you know the image. The Light CS Tarot, the Wheel of Fortune cards. I mean, you can Google it if you don't know what it looks like. But I use that often. A lot of tarot readers use that Light CS deck often. And the Wheel of Fortune card, of course, has a wheel. And in my mind, I could see the wheel turning. The wheel is turning now, and it's turning in your favor. So you are coming out on the other side. Because here's the thing. A long time ago, I received that message of the wheel is turning in your favor as well. And I was like, okay, I don't know what kind of wheel this is, but it's really in slow, super slow motion. So what the heck is going on? And then a while ago, I learned something about the Wheel of Fortune, and you could think that after years of reading tarot, I would know these things, but no, actually, this never ends. I mean, you never stop learning, especially because somebody maybe has a kind of interpretation that you cannot find in any book, and you never came to that conclusion yourself. And I actually like this about tarot. It is so open. It is so open, and everybody can add to it. So somebody explained, I think it was on Instagram, a video. It wasn't even a reading. It was just talking about the Wheel of Fortune. That when the wheel is turning, it's not like we are at some point under the wheel and then we are on top of the wheel. But we are the ones turning the wheel, meaning that you are pushing. Imagine a huge wheel, as I said, like maybe from a car, for example, something like from a car, or I don't know, just a huge wheel made out of wood, whatever comes up in your mind. And you are the one pushing it. You are pushing it. Imagine it is stuck in the ground. So you put in the effort. in order to make it turn. So you were underneath the wheel for a while, but then you came crawling out of the wheel and then you started pushing. So you're not under the wheel anymore. It's not the negative times anymore, but it's also not the wonderful, amazing, ecstatic, great times yet, because they would be right on top of the wheel. So you are on the side and pushing the wheel at the moment. Okay, why did I start talking about this? Because of the sun. But what exactly did I want to say? I don't know. Yeah, something like sorry, it's my ADHD brain. Something like anyway, you are allowed to experience good times as well. Let's just go on with the cards. If I forget what I wanted to say, then maybe there's a reason for it. So next up, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And this actually goes hand in hand with an oracle card that would actually come up later. But you know what? We don't have to do everything in chronological order. We can do it right now. At the end of your reading, so when I did it before, when I shuffled all of the cards for you, when I was sitting on my bed, I also shuffled two love oracle card decks in order to see if there's a love message. Not really. Not really, group number one. The focus is definitely on something else. And the focus for you in this month is your work, your career, your finances. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles here, and actually a bit late in your reading this came up, but we can talk about it now because they go hand in hand. And it was actually in the Romance Angel Oracle card where we got the finances and career card. And here's the thing, usually I have this negative feeling, so I have this negative gut feeling when I look at this card, but not this time. Okay, this time it was different. So I shuffled the card and it was laying on my bed for I don't know how long. And then I started to listen to that hill song. And then my eyes fell on that card again. And in that moment, I realized it has a positive meaning. In that moment, I realized that. So you have the Seven of Pentacles, and you can see how the woman in the picture is standing in front of her plants. So she has been watering these plants for a while now. And I don't know if you ever had plants at home or if you have any at home now, but when you plant the seed, it takes a while for the plant to grow. I mean, the seeds don't sprout the next day. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe there are plants where that is the case. But you know how the saying goes. You have to water the seeds, okay, in order for a plant to grow. And here in the finances and career card, it's a very dark. It's so dark. The image. Okay. All of them are a bit dark from this card deck. So it's not just this, it's not metaphorically speaking. Okay, I mean it literally. So you can see this is a woman in a garden and she's leaning down. And here, all of the plants have flowers on them now. So with green plants, even green plants for which you don't want them to grow flowers on because you want to use them for something else, they grow the flowers in the end. That's the last thing that happens for them to grow a flower. And this is what is happening for you now. The timing is not the same for everybody. So this either already happens and you can now enjoy the flowers that you planted a long time ago, or you will be able to do so throughout October, or you will put in more effort into your plants, in your metaphorical plants throughout October. But here's the thing. I don't want you to think, oh, okay, now even more work. No, you can already see the good part of it now. Okay, you can already see it now. And what does it say? Yeah, it says exactly what I just explained. I just wanted to see what the exact message is on the card. It's exactly what I just said. So we can look at the next one. Next, you have the King of Cups. You have the King of Cups. And this card says to take your time before you give someone an answer. So maybe this is a message that someone needs to hear. But most importantly, and this is something that you can see throughout. So with the last card, which is the Ten of Pentacles, you can see that. Look, if you look at the image, You can see it with the King of Cups card. You can see it with the Seven of Pentacles card. All of these three women in the picture are very, very content, okay? Very calm, very peaceful. And this is the feeling that you will feel throughout October, something that you haven't felt in a long time. Maybe from the outside, you looked like you were calm. Maybe you're just not an explosive, argumentative person. So maybe you always looked like you were calm and peaceful. But on the inside, a lot of chaos was going on. Not anymore, group number one. Okay? No more. Now your inside can also calm down. Things are changing for you heavily. Group number one, you have to believe it. If you cannot see it yet, you have to believe it. You have to trust, because it's true. I told you, you even received a message from God, and it's no joke. It was so beautiful that I started crying. And I have to laugh because I laugh at myself, but it was really beautiful. So we will get to it. Wait, I wanted to put the card down now. Okay, so the King of Cups, what was it? Yeah, King of Cups, King of Cups. So the King of Cups is basically the king who has it all. I mean, it's the cups, okay? But it takes the King of Cups the longest to become a king, the longest. This is what I'm saying. It was a very long journey, but you ended up with the cups, okay? And the cups are the things that we have. You know the saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's because the cups are what we have. That can be emotionally, but that can also be material wise, okay? That can also be tangible things. And in the end, you even have the Ten of Pentacles. And I like the message a lot on this card. It says, to have it all looks different to everybody, because here you have 10 cats. You have 10 cats. 10 of Pentacles are usually shown with 10 coins, because those are the pentacles, you know? And this is why it's so obvious for us to say that we're talking about money. But here we have 10 cats. So whatever abundance means to you is what you have, or what you can be excited about for you to come in October, or at least very soon. But look at the woman here. She is sitting on the stairs, and she's so calm, peaceful, living in harmony. And that alone already is abundance. That is abundance. I mean, people, we oftentimes think abundance has to do with a massively huge bank account, okay? A gigantic number on your bank account, or I don't know, the most amazing people in your life, like a huge amount of people, like not just one best friend, but a lot of best friends, a great family and whatnot. But here's the thing, you can have millions and millions and millions in your bank account, but be nervous and anxious and depressed as heck. Okay, I'm not saying that money cannot make you happy, okay? I don't buy that delusion, because I know what money can do for you, and we all feel it, especially when we don't have it, you know? So of course money is important. But look at the theme we can see in your tarot cards: being peaceful and not having all of that chaos in your mind. That also is a very abundant feeling. And when you are in that peaceful state, it is also easier for you to manifest an even better state. Okay, so these were your tarot cards. And then what was next? I had so many different cards. Okay, so I shuffled the animal spirit oracle cards because I wanted to see what message would come out. And we have the squirrel. Am I saying it correctly? I think so. And the squirrel card says always prepared. Always prepared. So I will read the message for you. Sorry. You are the expert of hard work and hard play, and I don't doubt that for a second, group number one. Maybe not the hard play. As I said before, maybe you oftentimes decline invitations, maybe, or maybe you are actually a hard player. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments. So sorry, I start again because I interrupted it. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all you need. And I have this feeling, group number one, that you didn't have the chance to be cheerful and fun and to actually make proper plans for the future that were not filled with anxiety. But now you can do that. Now it is possible for you. So it feels like your life was filled with all of the burdens that we usually have in a matrix, so real life problems. But with October, things are changing for you, group number one. So you will actually be able to do things like, I don't know, a hobby. I know it sounds so strange, but it's the little things that can really impact our lives so much. So maybe this speaks to you. Maybe there's a hobby that you haven't been able to spend time on for a long time. But you will be able to do so soon, if not already, if not right now. And you also have another card, and it's the dog card, which stands for friend. And it says, today, I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and friend. And I feel like this is something you have to tell yourself. I choose to be happy. Make it a deliberate choice. Choose to be happy, group number one. And the first line, today I will love without condition. This talks about you. Love yourself without condition, even if you were not able to do everything that you wanted to do today on your to-do list. Okay? Love yourself anyway. Call yourself a cute name. I do this all the time, by the way. I'm not joking you. It has been a journey for me. It has been quite a journey for me. It started a long time ago, like maybe a couple of years ago, with me not talking to me in a negative way anymore. And I don't mean that I was insulting myself. I don't mean that, like in a very hard way. Just like when you, I don't know, let's say you go to the kitchen because you want to get a fork or something, and then you come back and you forgot to bring that fork. Instead, you brought something else. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. And those little things, even though it's a bit funny in that moment, those little things are still negative self-talk. And I stopped doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. Sometimes it slips, okay? Sometimes these things slip out of my mouth, but I correct myself immediately. And it has been a long journey for me. So it took me a while to stop talking to me like that. Then I had been neutral for a very long time. And then at some point, I don't even know when, but at some point, I started calling myself, like not outside in public, okay, not at work or something like that, but in my mind, in my head, when I talk to myself, like I do 24/7, my head never shuts up. um, I, I use very, very sweet, very cute pet names for myself. And yes, of course, it's weird. Of course, it's cringy. Of course, it's funny, especially in the beginning, but also sometimes in between. And sometimes I laugh at myself because I call myself, I don't know, whatever. But it really helps. It really helps. Get used to calling yourself by a pet name. Don't just wait for your boyfriend or girlfriend to call you honey. Call yourself honey, okay? Because you are honey. You're sweet like honey. Okay, so then we have these Moonology Oracle cards, because I just wanted to ask Spirit if they have a message for you. And the first card that came out was this. You have blue butterflies. Butterflies in general stand for transformation, but I have been seeing blue butterflies a lot lately, always regarding to the eclipse. The eclipse that's tomorrow. So I don't know when I will upload this. I actually plan on uploading it tonight, but I don't know if I can manage to do that. Anyway, today is the 1st of October, me recording this. So tomorrow is the eclipse. And as I already said, there is a huge transformation coming for you. And the card says to look for signs. Spirit is telling you to look for signs. So keep your eyes open. You will be shown the way. You will be shown the way. October is a time for you to relax. Of course, if you have something serious, important to do, I don't know, learning for an exam or something, keep doing that, of course, okay? Don't be like, yeah, that girl on the internet told me to relax, so now I relax. No, no. If you actually have something to do, then do that. But don't put on any more load than you can carry, especially not other people's load. It's not your job to do their job. It really isn't. Let me tell you this by someone who had to take care of their parents as a little child. I wasn't a child, my parents were the children. Okay, so stop with that. Stop it. It's just about you. Only you matter, group number one, nobody else. So you can relax, you can live in peace and harmony, especially in this month. But if you're wondering at any time during this month or later on as well, but what's next? What should I do now? Or whatever, you will be shown the way. Look at the signs. The signs are around you. You don't have to wait for a tarot card reading. You don't. The signs are around you. And then you also got this card, which stands for support. And you can see there are three people. You are not walking alone. You're not walking alone, group number one, even if it feels like that oftentimes. But you're not. You are heavily protected by your spirit guides. I would even say angel. I'm seeing a huge angel in my mind. I think it's an archangel. And I think I'm stopping myself from saying it because it's the most obvious thing, but it seems to be Archangel Michael. I didn't want to say it because we say Archangel Michael so often, but it actually makes sense because Archangel Michael actually has a lot of human beings he takes care of. Not the entire human population, but he's an archangel functioning as some kind of spirit guide, like he's doing the job of a spirit guide as an archangel for a lot of human beings. This is why he comes up so often in tarot card readings, in case you ever wondered. So I saw an image of him. He's depicted very differently, of course. We don't know what he actually looks like, but I saw an image of him in my mind's eye, and I didn't want to say it because it's the most obvious thing. Even if it's not Archangel Michael, I'm hearing Uriel. Uriel, did I say it correctly? I hope so. Even if it's not him, it might be Uriel, but you are also guided and protected by an archangel. Oh yeah, now the message becomes clearer. It's an angel with golden wings. Massive golden wings. You are protected, group number one. Do not worry at all. You are heavily protected and guided. So I also asked Spirit, even though I could actually tell, to be honest with you, I could actually tell, but for confirmation and also confirmation for you, I asked Spirit, what situation is group number one coming out of? So what are the difficult times that you're coming out of? And I received 4 cards. The first one is this one. It says crying over you, sad, hurt, upset, etc. It's etc. Okay. We have the same word in my language, but it's pronounced differently, so it's a bit weird for me to say that in English. Anyway, you have been crying night after night after night, probably also day after day, under the shower, in the bed, everywhere. And you may have had a reason, but because your mind, your body was so used to crying, you oftentimes just cried out of no obvious reason. But then later on, your mind created a reason. You know how we are sometimes upset, and then we purposefully listen to sad music to make us even more upset. So sometimes we cry out of nowhere, and then we purposefully think of something negative that happened to cry even more. So you had a lot of those moments. And then we also have the obsessive lover card. I swear I hate the image on this card. It weirds me out. But what's important is the messages down here. It says dangerous, toxic, unhealthy, possessiveness, karmic. You had to clear so much karma, group number one. It's unreal. You had to clear out more karma than other people have to in this lifetime. And no, it doesn't mean that you have been a horrible person in your past life, because sometimes it's our job to come to planet Earth as a higher being, to be here, a human being, in order to clear out karma from our bloodline. And this is something that would make a lot of sense for you, group number one, that you actually were carrying the karma from other people as well, from an entire family tree, you know? So then we also have the card of giving money. And in this context, it for sure means that you had to give money so many times instead of receiving money. You gave more than you received. You gave way more than you received. These times are over. I'm not saying that you're winning the lottery this month. I don't know. If you want to play around a little bit, go buy a lottery ticket. I don't know. Okay, this is not advice. I'm just saying you have free will. Do whatever you want, okay? Be careful. Gambling can also cause an addiction. Now I sound like everyone's mom, but no. It means your finances will improve. Okay, these days are over. Okay, they're ending now. Of course, you will still have to pay rent. Of course, you still have to pay for your groceries, obviously. But these things where a bill hits you out of nowhere and you are like, what the like, how? Who are these people even? These things will not happen anymore. Okay, and in my mind I saw an angel again. You will be protected. Also with the where is it, looking for signs card, maybe. So this is just a message for someone, because I think that this is the case. Maybe you will be shown, so like your spirit guides will guide you to a document or something, or to look at your online banking to see where you spent money on, what you spent money on, something that was maybe a subscription that you don't even remember anymore. So you will be shown those things, okay? And then you can clear that out. And then we also have the threatening card. And this is also a big thing for you, group number one. You have been threatened. You have felt threatened at times when you even weren't threatened. It's like you were very scared, especially when it came to money things, because I felt like doing this hand gesture, because you tried to hold on to your money as tight as possible, because something may happen. Something may be right around the corner, okay? Those times are over now. It is done. It is finished. It is done. And then I still have a few more cards. I asked, what are the blessings for group number one in October? What are the blessings? The first one that came out was this, okay? It stands for occupation. So your job. You will be blessed in your job area. I wanted to say financial area, but then I said, I was like, no, it's a job. So yeah, it's the sixth house energy, and also 10th house, because it can be career, job and career. They are different houses in astrology. Then you have the freedom card. After you have been in a cage for so long, you will finally feel free. Something will happen with your finances. I cannot say exactly what it is, because it will also be different for everybody. So maybe somebody will hit a huge sale. Somebody will make a huge sale. While for another person, it's just that their contract for work will be renewed, or you will have a raise. Maybe it's not a huge raise, because sometimes when we listen to these things in tarot card readings, it always feels like we are all about to be millionaires. This is how much we will be blessed financially. But in reality, it's more like you are changing departments, and maybe you are making $200, euros, whatever, more a month. But that already can be a big difference for somebody. Okay, this can be a very different feeling for someone, because maybe you used to live month to month, and with that 200 extra, you at least have some pocket money, yes, some play money, or you can save a little bit. And that is psychologically for us so different. It makes such a big difference, even if we know that we will have our paycheck very soon again next month. It's still a very different feeling when you have a plus on your bank account instead of zero, and of course instead of a minus. Okay, so of course a plus is always better. And this is something that we all of us, me included, we all have to keep that in mind when we listen to these money predictions in tarot. It always sounds fantastical, or we may be so biased that we turn it into something that is so major, then we are like, oh no, that will not happen to me, because we make it too big in our head. But we have to think of something realistic. Anything is possible. Always be open. This is something that's very important. Be open. Okay, make sure you can say that. You can say it as a statement in a sentence. You can repeat it after me right now. Universe, I'm open to receive whatever you want to give me, because I deserve it. Okay, I'm open to receive whatever. Always be open, but also for yourself, be realistic. So what makes more sense? Hitting the lottery all of a sudden and becoming a multimillionaire, or becoming, or gaining, or receiving, or however I should say it, a small raise that looks small on paper and may be small for a lot of people, but it can really be that difference that you have been waiting for. Group number one, that's possible. It's possible. Maybe you are a freelancer, because I'm thinking of this right now, because I do freelance work. I'm actually a teacher, in case you're wondering. I'm working as a teacher, and the more courses I teach, the more money I make, obviously. So maybe I just use myself as an example. Maybe you are a personal trainer. I don't know. I suddenly had the word personal trainer in my mind. So the more clients you have, the more money you make. As a freelancer, you're still working for time. Okay, so it's not this wonderful thing that people always talk about on YouTube when you are that entrepreneur, and you have your business with I don't know how much money. No, you're still selling your time, basically. And the more clients you have, the more money you make. So maybe you, as a personal trainer, a yoga teacher, whatever you are, I don't know, you will have more clients in October. But at the same time, and this is a very positive thing to know, it will be very calm, peaceful, harmonious, because we all can have, when we are freelancers, okay, not we all, so of course there's more things going into this, but it is possible for us to keep on adding courses, to keep on adding clients. I mean, we have 24 hours in a day, and with enough coffee, we can make all of those 24 hours work for us. But of course, it's insane. That has an impact on our body, on our health, on everything. So what it means is that you may work a bit more in October. So this could be a way, it could be, I'm just giving examples, group number one, okay? So this could be a way for you to make more money in October, but it will be very calm, very peaceful, very content. It will not be hard on you. Or maybe it's simply a completely different way for you to make money. I'm just giving examples. It's different for everyone who's listening to this. Then we also have the card of trust, and the person in the card is looking at the sky, looking at the sun specifically. You put a lot of trust in God, the universe, the angels, whatever you may believe in, for a very long time. And if you're honest with yourself, you're probably like, on some days I did not really trust that much, not so much, because I couldn't really see it. But at the end of the day, so after all, like when we look at the percentage, for example, you put more trust into the universe than not. You did it more than you didn't. Okay, and this is why you get rewarded with what? A new beginning. A very, very, very positive new beginning. Do you see this door opening? So it is more like a portal, I would say, because the door is not here. It's just an opening in the wall, and in the back you can actually see both the moon and the sun. You can see both, and you can see a lot of blue butterflies in the card. a lot of blue butterflies. You can see the birds in the back, which oftentimes stand for freedom, and you already had the freedom card right here. Things are changing for you massively, group number one, okay? And I have one last card, and then I will tell you the message from God. And it was this card. It says embrace, because as I said sometime in the beginning of your reading, that I also shuffled for some love messages just to see what would come up. I actually don't have love messages for you, but I have this, and it says embrace. You can look at the image on the back while I read it for you. It says, through each other you find the missing pieces. Okay, through each other you find the missing pieces. And to me, this is still a love message. Love is coming to you, group number one, but maybe not in October yet. Not yet. So everything else is falling into place now. Everything else, every puzzle piece is finding its match, if that makes sense, if you know what I mean. And there is, now that I said puzzle piece, I can actually see it in my mind. I can see a puzzle, but there's one piece missing. There's one piece missing, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. I feel the energy right now. I'm very smiley right now. Of course, I smile oftentimes throughout my video, but now I really feel it. It is a very positive, wonderful feeling. It's like, this is also where the peace and harmony comes from, because everything else is clear. Everything else is clear, and because everything else is clear, you are able to focus on that one missing piece, and that one missing piece is, of course, your partner. Okay, so even if you are in a relationship, this message is still for you, because maybe your relationship has been suffering a little bit under the circumstances that you have been living under, whatever it may have been, stress or whatever it may have been. And it doesn't have to mean that you have been fighting all day, every day with your partner, but maybe you just didn't have the time to go on a date. Maybe it's just that. Or maybe you are single as a Pringle, okay? Whatever it may be. With everything else falling into place, you will be able to focus on that one missing piece, which is love. And speaking of love, let's talk about the message from God. And as I'm saying this, I'm getting the chills, because I can see it in my mind, because it was a vision that I had in my mind. And it was the following thing. If I start crying, my apologies. I pick up my microphone so I can lean back on my chair so you can still hear me properly. I hope it works. I hope I'm not scratching anything now, and now the sound is horrible. No, I want to tell you the story now. So I don't know if you have seen that movie. I have seen it as a child, so I don't really remember it properly. I barely remember it, actually. It was Nicolas Cage, the movie where he was an angel. He came to earth as an angel. And to be completely honest with you, I don't even remember the plot. I just remember one thing, and that was the thing that I saw in my mind. See how spirit works? It's so crazy. Nicolas Cage in that movie was on a beach, and on that beach the angels were praying every morning to God. But at some point in the video, in the movie, I remember why, but I'm not saying it now. Go watch the movie. It's really amazing. I will watch it too, because as I said, there was a child when I watched it. That was 1 or 2 or maybe 3, no, not 3, but what was 2 decades ago. Okay, so Nicolas Cage was standing on that beach by himself, and this is what I meant. I remember now why he was standing there by himself, but you go watch the movie, okay? So anyway, in the message that you received from God directly, oh, I'm getting the chills. Yes, it was God directly. You were standing, yes, my eyes are closed, or otherwise I would get distracted. You were standing at the beach, on that beach, and God was in front of you, of course, in the form of a human being, otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell. So it was your imagination. Your imagination created someone. Let's say you are Christian watching this, then in your imagination, God looks the way Jesus Christ is always depicted. Or it's some other kind of imagination. For me, it was just a man. I don't even know where that face comes from. Maybe I saw it somewhere on the street or in a movie or something. But I saw really a man in front of me. And okay, I have to calm myself down for a second. So here's the thing. This is something very, very advanced, spiritually very advanced. So maybe this is not something that you can that bothers you, not something that interests you. Maybe you're like, okay, come on, girl. But somebody here is watching this who is on that how should I say, who is at that place on the spiritual journey that they understand what I'm saying, that you signed a contract, you made an agreement together with God before you came here on planet Earth as a human being. You made an agreement, and God is reminding you of that agreement. And you are standing on that beach. It's windy. You're not wearing a bikini or something. You're wearing clothes. I can see your hand flowing in the wind. No matter if you have long or short hair, if you're a man or woman, it doesn't matter. It's just about how it showed up in my head. And you are standing there in front of God. And God asks you, if you knew, would you do it again? Would you do it again? And your answer is, as long as I am doing it for you, I would do it again 1,000 times over. And I would even, if I had to, choose an even more difficult life. As long as I know that I'm doing it for you, for the greater good, for the highest good of humanity, and therefore the highest good of planet Earth, and therefore the highest good of the universe, I would always choose to do this again, as hard as it may be. And God is looking at you smiling. God is looking at you smiling. And in that moment, you are saying to God, you're saying, but when can I go home? When can I go home? Because you are done with this human experience journey at this point. This is why you're asking God, but when can I finally go home? And God, like a father, is putting his hand on your head. And with a bright smile on his face, he is saying to you, not yet. And with that movement, the hand is not on your head anymore, but because of this gesture, you are sitting down. You're not standing up anymore. You are sitting down, and now you're sitting on the beach. God said to you, not yet, because after everything that you've been through, now is the time to actually experience the light, to actually experience the good times. And you are sitting on that beach, breathing in and out for a moment, imagining the light and all the good things waiting for you. And as you look up, God is not standing there anymore, but you made your decision. You are staying here. You are staying here, group number one, because now with October, the wheel is turning for you. The wheel is turning for you, and you are staying. You're not going anywhere. And as I'm saying this, something else also popped up in my head. This was part of your conversation. So I could actually perfectly finish it with saying that you couldn't see God anymore because you made your decision. But there's something else that's part of this conversation that you had with God. And this is also something very advanced spiritually. So higher beings exist, but the question is, why are they on planet Earth? Or why did we decide to come to planet Earth? It's not just to clear the energy. It's not just to raise the vibration. It's not just that. There's also another reason. And that was actually the original, the very first OG reason why different beings came to planet Earth that were actually very close to God. Like, why would you leave that space? Why would you leave that place and come to planet Earth instead? The most difficult planet in the entire universe. This right here is the most difficult one. It is. And the reason for this is us higher beings wanted to experience the duality. We wanted to experience, to know what it means to be sad, to know what it means to have these feelings, to be madly in love, to have all the feelings, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, everything. Because as a higher being, you are on a higher vibration. And on a higher vibration, you don't have the feelings on a lower vibration, such as fear, for example. But you, as a higher being, you wanted to expand. You wanted to have some bullet points on your CV, basically. Okay, you wanted to add some experience, okay, in order to give better help, better advice when you later on become a spirit guide, for example. And when God asked you if you would do it again, you had a moment of realization and you were laughing for a second. And you said to him, I might regret it, but yes, I would do it again for you. And in that moment, God is looking at you, smiling brightly once again, and saying to you, good, you learned what regret is. And this is not something sinister, not at all. God is amazed by the fact that you actually learned what certain feelings mean. And regret is part of it. It's part of the human experience. But God is also saying, it is time for you to experience the good side of life. And as I'm saying this right now, oh my God, I have 1000. So I have 10, oh, it's exactly 10 o'clock. It's 1000. It's so crazy how the things are aligned, because it stands for new beginning. It's a new beginning. And before I started recording, this cannot be real. I mean, your reading is crazy. I don't know what to do with group number 2 and 3. I cannot even, it will definitely not be as good as your reading, okay? I'm just saying. I don't know yet, but I think so. Because before I started recording your reading, I walked out past the kitchen and then I came back in. Of course, that's why I'm sitting here. When I walked past the kitchen, I looked at the clock on the oven, and it's not correct. So the clock doesn't work properly, and it shows a different time. And I walked past, and I saw 1000, and it stands for new beginning. And you also had the card of the new beginning in your reading. Okay, so you are having a huge new beginning in your life. And as I'm saying this, or as I said this before I interrupted myself because I looked at the clock, I remembered for a moment how after I shuffled all of your cards, I was laying on my bed and started scrolling instead of getting up and recording your reading. Your old self, your past self will creep up on you and will try to pull you back. More often than not, this will happen often until you made the transition and you told your conscious mind over and over and over again until it enters the subconscious mind that you are a new person now and you are not going to use these coping mechanisms anymore in order to distract yourself from something that could be an amazing life, finally, probably for the first time in your life. It is okay to cope every once in a while. It is okay to scroll every once in a while, to binge watch your favorite show. You can order that pizza every once in a while, but I'm saying every once in a while. Do not use that instead of actually experiencing the great life that God Himself intended for you. It is here for you now. The opportunity is here for you now. Nobody will take it away from you, group number 1. Nobody. Nobody can do that. No one has the power to do this. No one. I wish you all the best. May you always be blessed, especially in this blessed month for you, group number 1. If you like, you can subscribe and leave a comment, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye. Hi, group number 2, and welcome to your October reading. I have a lot of cards for you, and I have a lot of good messages for you, so let's get into it. First, I shuffled the Light CS Tarot, and something quite interesting happened with these 2 cards that came out right away. So they fell on my bed. I was sitting on my bed when I was shuffling, and the way they fell, they actually turned this way. Okay, so not upright and not upside down, but on the side. And when I tell you the message on these cards, with these cards specifically, it's very important to know which way they were falling out. So I was not very sure, but in context with the other cards, I can tell now, and it is very good and very interesting. The card that came out was the Justice card, but in reverse. It was in reverse, so I wasn't sure about it, but now I am. Justice in reverse and the Death and Rebirth card upright. Now, what does this mean? It means that the bad karma, it came out upside down, the bad karma is over now. There's death to the bad karma, meaning there's a rebirth to the good karma. Okay, just like group number 1, we have the theme of new beginning. So if you're coming from group number 1, that would make sense. But one thing to know, if you went straight to group number 2 and did not feel drawn to group number 1, because I don't want to say it like 20 times throughout the reading, the message is actually more or less the same, but the energy is very different. Group number 1 had very heavy energy. Your group, not so much. Not so much. So I would understand if someone from group number 1 would also listen to this, but the other way around, I am not too sure. I don't know, but you have to make the choice for yourself, okay? You're the one deciding which group you feel drawn to. So we are already starting extremely strong. I want to make sure that you understand how impactful this actually is. The bad karma ending, a death to the bad karma, and therefore a rebirth or birth to the good karma. And this is the theme. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Today, this was many hours ago. I had the same with group number 1. I thought it was a coincidence that I only had a message for group number 1, but no, I also had a separate message for you today, group number 2. It was something else. It was not the same. So many hours ago, today in the afternoon, I took a shower. And while I was in the shower, I remembered something I watched in the beginning of the year, 2024. And it was, it had a spiritual topic, but the thing is, it wasn't in English. Otherwise, I would tell you what channel it was. I'm not sure about the name right now. So right now, I don't even know, but I remember the message. So this was somebody, and this is interesting. This was somebody who used to be on the dark side of things when it comes to spirituality, but not anymore. So this is someone who turned their back to the dark side and is now on the good side. But at the time that this person indulged, I could actually say, because they went very deep in these dark things, they actually gained a lot of knowledge. So they studied these things a lot, and they also studied how to connect to different gods. Okay, so I believe in God. I know it's not the case for everybody. I believe in God as the creator of everyone and everything. I also believe that gods like the goddess Venus, for example, or Zeus, or whoever, all of these Greek mythology gods, or the Nordic gods, or the whatever gods, whatever nation there may be, and whatever mythology they may have, I believe that everything exists. But I also believe that on top of everything and everyone is the one true creator, and that is God. But here's the thing. This person taught himself how to go into such a deep state of meditation that they could call in certain gods. That's not so easy. It really isn't. I mean, for example, we have our tarot cards in order to receive messages from our spirit guides, and even they don't always want to talk to us. It is their job, but sometimes they're like, okay, come on, girl, how many more times do you want to ask the same question? And the spirit guides are the closest to us in terms of, I don't know, how should I say, hierarchy? I think so, at least I imagine. And the angels are also very close to us. But you really have to go a bit deep when you want to call in an archangel that is not currently around you. We have archangels around us, but not always. So you have to put in some work in order to connect to one. Now imagine how much work he had to put in order to connect to a certain God. But I 100% believe him. I don't think that it was BS. We have to be careful because there are many spiritual channels on YouTube specifically, so you have to be careful, okay? So be open but also be careful. But I really believe him. So what did he do? Okay, let's get to the point of what he did. What did he do? He called in the god Apollo. Some people say it with just an O, some people with an N in the end. That was Apollo, okay? So he called him in and asked him what would happen in 2024. And he said, the good will become bad and the bad will become good. Now, what does this mean? What this means is that the good people who had to endure bad things are going to experience the good things for the first time, and the other way around. And now I don't want to get into this. I know that a lot of channels do. I don't want to get into this because it's the same old, even though some people hear about it for the first time. But you know exactly what is currently going on in pop culture with a certain musician. You know exactly what is going on. I'm not going into detail, but this is just one example out of many. We had one or two of these stories already in the year 2024, and more things are coming up. More people are realizing who these celebrities actually are that they are worshiping. And it's not just them, of course, it's everybody, everyone who has even an ounce of power. All the CEOs that are suddenly stepping down, all of these politicians, everybody. So the people who experienced very good things for a very long time, because I mean, they had the cash, okay, you know, they are facing the bad stuff now. And the opposite is also the case. People who had to experience very negative things, who probably had to clear out negative karma from other people, and also the negative karma from yourself, from a past life maybe, or something that you did in this life. All of these people, the pages are flipping now. The coin is on the other side now. Why did I say coin? I don't know. Okay. The pages are turning. You will be able to experience the good things now. Let me see if I'm still recording. Yeah, I don't know, I had a feeling. And this is what I'm seeing in this card. This is what suddenly came up. I thought of this, I remembered it today when I was showering, and I even thought for a second, maybe I tell this today in the tarot reading in my intro, but I don't. I haven't actually recorded the intro yet. I will do that later. I wanted to go straight into the reading. So, yeah, it was this way. Okay, so the bad karma is over. As I said, it is dying in order for the good karma to be birthed. Okay, so this is the death and rebirth card. So what is dying? The bad karma. What is birthing or rebirthing? The good karma. And yeah, I'm still stalking. Sorry, I'm still talking about these two cards because the message here is so important. We are starting with this right away. And this is why all of the other things are happening in your life. So this is actually the reason why. Usually we would use oracle cards as a clarifier, but here you have the ultimate clarifier. Now, what is coming up? Because I told you that I wasn't sure if the card came out the way they should have come out, so this way or that way. But with the upcoming tarot cards, I can tell you that it was exactly the way I explained to you, because it's in context and everything else is very positive. Okay, you can see all the cards here, but I will go through them one by one so you can see it properly. We have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, especially in this tarot card, is someone who is planting seeds. You are planting seeds. You may not see right now yet the plants. You may not see them yet. You may not see them yet. Sorry. I thought my sentence had another word in it. Don't mind me, guys, okay? I don't want to say it every 5 minutes because I feel like I'm saying it every 5 minutes, but it's my ADHD, okay? So, yeah, you're planting the seeds. Let's move on. And here we have the Lover's card. To be honest with you, I was hoping for it. I was also hoping for it in group number 1. I wanted to give you love messages, but it's actually not a love message. This Lover's card talks about a decision. It is you making a decision. So this is not something that is happening out of nowhere because the universe says so. It is you making a deliberate choice. To be completely honest with you, I don't know what it is. I couldn't see it in the cards. So it is very general, but maybe it is the right thing. It is very general to say, but I think that is the point, that you are deciding to leave the negative past behind and to step into the positive future. You have to make that decision. One thing I can tell you is that these things are very much possible for us now, and the universe is creating this for us now with the eclipse. I'm recording this on the 1st of October, but if I upload it in the middle of the night, it will still be the 2nd of October, so eclipse day. It is possible for us, it is made possible for us now to create a new positive life. But here's the thing, we can self-sabotage, and this is something that actually happens quite often. So if you actually want this new positive life, if you want this new career and whatnot, let's take the word career as an example. It can be anything. It can be your health, it can be your love relationship, anything, but I just pick career as an example now. Let's say you actually want that new positive, great, amazing, exciting career. But now it is actually a bit scary because you haven't experienced that in a long time, or you haven't experienced that ever. So that will actually change your life a lot, at the very least on the inside. This is especially the case for people who are introverts, because you realize that you have to expand in order to make this positive new thing happen for you. So it will be a change for you either way. If it's only internal or also external, there will be a change. And this is something that we fear, especially our brain. Our brain is actually so smart, but here's the thing, it wants to protect us. And because it wants to protect us, it doesn't really allow us to do the new positive things that we want to do. So we oftentimes have to fight a little. This is why it's not so easy for us to start a new diet. This is why if you don't already have the routine to exercise, it is difficult to actually get into the routine. But once you are in it, it works. Why? Because your brain got used to it and understood, okay, this is my new normal. And normal is what it wants. Normal is what it wants. So the common things, the familiar things is what it wants. So be careful. Yes, you are planting the seeds, but you could also ruin the ground you're building them on by not doing what you're supposed to do, like with a new career, for example. Instead of keeping on working, whatever the grammar is, I don't know, you can correct me in the comments if you want to, I don't mind. Instead of doing that, you're suddenly laying back, or you're suddenly like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have taken on that project because I don't know, and so on and so forth. So the universe or your spirit guides are telling you that October is working out very well for you because you made a decision. So this is a prediction. So let's say we have the 1st of November and everything worked out perfectly. Why? Because in the beginning of October or in the end of September, you made this decision to really work on this new life. Okay, and it actually can come in effortlessly. And effortless is actually not the correct word. It's not effortless, but it's low effort, with very low effort, because the universe at the moment is working in your favor. It's not working against you at all. It's like, let's say it's a very fast train. That's actually a good example. It's a very fast train. The only thing you have to do is to enter the train. You just have to walk in, because then it can go very fast for you as well. You're not sitting on a snail trying to go from A to B, which is sometimes the case in our life. It's not snail motion, it is train motion. I'm making up words on the spot. And it actually makes sense, because I have more cards for you, is exactly for that. So you made that decision, or you are making that decision to step into your confidence here with the Queen of Wands, to step into your confidence, to realize what you got, the talents that you have, the knowledge that you have, the experience that you have, or simply the trust in yourself. Maybe you're doing something for the first time, but you trust in yourself so much that your confidence really exudes competence. Okay, your confidence exudes competence, and therefore things are happening for you very fast, as I said, with the train motion. Because we have here the Knight of Swords. You can see the Knight of Swords here running to their motorcycle. Whatever is happening for you, whatever is coming into motion for you, is a very fast motion. And you can also see it here with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands are also very fast energy, and they are talking about success. It's talking about success. So whatever you're doing will be successful very fast. And lastly, for your tarot cards, we have the World, group number 2. The world is yours. What else do you want? The universe, okay. But for now, the world is yours. And just now, I slowed down talking, but I feel like talking fast again. Why am I saying this to you? Because it wasn't the case for group number 1. I'm in your energy, group number 2. You have a very fast energy. I feel like like talking very, very fast. This is my mood right now. I did not have this for the previous group. So this is what I'm saying. You are in very fast movement at the moment. I have a lot of tea leaves for you. And it's interesting how the tea leaves start out. They're actually not starting out on a positive note, but let's talk about it. The first card we have is despair. And despair talks about heartache, what you no longer have. Wait a second, I have 2 more cards for this. Then came out the Target, a goal-oriented person, and the Cat, a two-faced friend. So with these 3 cards, oh, there's another one, sorry, I forgot. Pale, time to get out of a situation. Okay, time to get out of a situation. So these were the more or less negative cards, because the Target, for example, is actually not a negative card. Also the first one, despair. So here's what I'm seeing. You have been in an environment with people who were not good for you for a while, especially for some people watching this, or one person watching this. I can tell that we are talking about a friend, because I have this feeling of a female friend. Yes, the Cat card is saying this also, but I also have that feeling that we are talking about a female friend, somebody who was holding you back. And the Cat card says a two-faced friend. But this could also be someone who may not be a bad person, but every time you guys meet, they're talking to you about something negative that happened, or they're just a very doom gloom person. So they always keep talking about the negative things that will happen as if they knew. So they are actually creating a negative future for themselves. And every time you go home after you met that person, you feel so worn out. They're really an energy vampire. So energy vampires also exist in people who are actually not bad people. So it's not a bad intention, but in a way they do use you. They do take advantage of you because you are there listening. You know what I mean? So for some of you who are listening to this, it is just that one friend. For some of you who are listening to this, it's your whole environment. Okay, your whole environment with everybody. And for some of you listening to this, it's about yourself, okay? It's about yourself and the bad habits that you had for way too long. And if you feel called out, let me tell you, I also feel called out by myself. Yeah, I also had a lot of, or have a lot of bad habits. Yeah, I know. Okay, so and I also had to think of something else when I saw despair because it says heartache over what you no longer have. This may sound crazy to some people because they probably never experienced it, but it's actually very true that leaving something like depression can also be upsetting. And I know you're thinking, like, what the heck is she saying? But yes, because there are some states of being that we are in for such a long time that it starts to feel like home because it's our everyday experience. And when we don't experience that anymore, there is a feeling of missing, you know, even if it's something negative. And it is absolutely normal. It's not nice. It's not a great thing, but it is actually a normal thing to miss something that you no longer have. So let's say you are someone who completely turned their lifestyle around. Maybe you were a binge eater, maybe, okay, just an example. And you had an unhealthy amount. You were overweight in a very unhealthy way. Okay, so not just a little bit, but a lot. And you turned your life completely around, and now you're a very healthy, fit person, very active person. But still, every once in a while, you miss those days in which you were just eating cake. You know what I mean? And we all do that. So when we have to work for a very long time intensely, like let's say you have to study for school, for example, then you don't have the time to lay on your bed and to binge watch your favorite show all day long because you have to study all day long, you know? So all of these things are actually not good for us. Overeating, binge watching. What other example did I say? I don't know, whatever example comes into your mind. Actually, those things are not positive for us. Oh, depression. I was talking about depression. But when these things are out of our life, even if it's just in quotes temporarily, there's still this feeling of missing. Okay. So, this is also why there could be this heartache of what you no longer have. But the pale also tells you time to get out of a situation. And you yourself, you know this. So this is not a surprise. You're not like, huh, what situation? No, you actually know. Whatever it may be, okay? It's either a place that you have to leave, it's a person that you have to leave, or it's a habit that you have to let go of. And now let's get into the other tea leaf cards because I have so many and they are actually very nice. Okay, very positive. So next, because you made that decision, once again, we had the same in your tarot cards. So actually, the oracle cards confirmed the tarot cards that you're making a decision or you made a decision. I don't know, the timing is different for everybody. And therefore, you have the broom, new home, new attitude. Okay, so of course, not everybody's buying a house now in October. Okay. So you have to see how it resonates with you. But sometimes we can give our place this feeling of newness because simply we are simply entering it with a different energy. We're going to work in a different energy. Because we feel better, we suddenly start buying those flowers that we have been eyeing for a while, but we never bought them. Or you did clean out your bookshelf and maybe even bought a new one, or you did this or that or whatever. And this is why you have the new home, new attitude. It's also about your own home as your body. You know, this could also be that. Then we have the well, family wishes come true. Whatever you're wishing for is coming true, whatever it may be. And then you have the goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. And I think it's material, you know why? Because you have more cards indicating that. But of course, it can be both material and spiritual. Because next you have the bread, a period of prosperity and abundance. And then you have the dolphin, Financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. I said this before in a reading. I don't remember which reading it was. I'm not sure. It wasn't the future spouse reading. I think it was the reading before. I also had the dolphin card. And I want to say the same thing I said then, that sometimes in readings I listen to, the dolphin card comes up. And every time I'm like what? What exactly did I do in the past that the financial gain is coming now? But this could also be your good karma. Okay, because of your good karma, it is easier for you to have access to finances. So it happens faster for you. Something that would take others years will take you months, or something that would take other people months will take you days or weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? Or one person is paid whatever for the same service and you are paid more for that same service because you have a much better karma. So it could be something like that. You know what I mean? And I actually don't like the comparison to other people. So let's compare things to ourselves. In the past, because you were still in the state of that negative karma, that bad karma you had to clear out, you did not make so much per hour. But now, as you step into your good karma, this new phase of your life, you are able to make more because you are attracting more. You are on the vibration of abundance. So this is why you're making more per hour at work, for example. Next, we had two cards coming out back to back. They came out like this. I didn't know that there was a card on the back. So you had the bird flying, and the bird flying says news is on the way. And I was like, okay, what news? And then I realized this card was right on the back. Oh wait, it's upside down. Here, it's the success card. News of success is on the way. So I don't know what you did. Group number 2, you tell me. I would like to know. But whatever it is successful, and you will find out about it very soon if you haven't already. And what did we have next? Oh yeah, we have chair filled. Someone new is entering your life, and this is positive. Okay, this is positive. I have to say that right away because every time this card comes up for me, I'm like, who is bothering me now? Because unfortunately that had always been my experience. But no, it's positive for you. So this I cannot really say because I couldn't see that in the cards. This is either an actual new person or this is you becoming a new person. Okay, this is why it feels like someone new is entering your life, because you will be so different very soon. And then we had a not so nice card. Oops, sorry, I scratched the microphone. It's the skull. Hidden secrets can harm you, but no worries, group number 2, because right after that came the eagle. Triumph over troubles and obstacles. So I don't know what's going on, but it's not a big deal because you will be triumphant over it at the end of the day. So you will win at the end of the day, no matter what this skull thing is talking about. And as I didn't receive more messages about it, I don't think it's that much of a big deal anyway. Let's talk about the good things instead, because you have the throne. It says position of authority. There's really this strong feeling of career in your reading. It doesn't have to be. Maybe it's a position of authority in your family. Maybe you're putting a foot down and now you're more respected, maybe. But this really gives me a feeling of career, a position of authority. And then we have the haystack karma. You will reap what you have sown. We already talked about this. You are in this period of good karma now, okay? So don't worry about you will reap what you have sown. It's positive. And by the way, this reminds us, or it reminds me at least, of the Knight of Pentacles card, where the Knight is planting the seeds. And now your tea leaf card is saying you will reap what you have sown, okay? So maybe this will actually already happen in October. You're planting the seeds and also reaping what you have sown with the haystack card. Then what else do we have? The ant. See, I said it. It must have to do something with your job, your study, something like that, because the ant talks about work, achievement, and success. You have again the success card, okay? Amazing. And then you have the door. Opportunities are waiting for you. I think it's because you created them for yourself. With the plants that you are, with the seeds that you were planting, with all the hard work you're putting in, more doors are opening up for you, group number two. And lastly, we have the lag, stepping into a new experience. It is very new for you. Not the fact that something in your job or career is changing positively, or whatever area of life it may be. It is actually a very new experience for you because you're coming out of that bad karma cycle and you are entering that good karma cycle. And as I'm saying this, I'm thinking of the South Pole and the North Pole in your birth chart. So this is what I need you to do, what you need to do. Okay, you don't have to do it for myself, for me. You have to do it for yourself. You will want to know this. If you don't know already, then do it now. Okay, look up your birth chart and see where your North Pole is, your North Node. Sorry, I said pole. I said South Pole and North Pole. No, I mean where your North Node is, okay? Because that's where you're supposed to go into that life. That's the direction you have to walk in this life. And as you do that, you will notice how better and better life gets. Because this is actually what every human being on planet Earth is supposed to do in their lifetime, to leave the South Node behind, which is not easy to do because the South Node is what we are most familiar with, and to then step into the direction of the North Node. And as I just said this reminds me of the first card that we were talking about, despair, heartache of what you no longer have. Because as I said, it's actually difficult to leave the South Node behind. People need decades, multiple decades to finally do that. And some people never do it. Some people never do it. But the thing is, if you don't do it, you are doomed to experience all of the experience that you were supposed to experience, sorry, in this lifetime again. But this time it will be much more difficult. So you will be reborn, but your life will be much more difficult. It will be made harder and harder for you until you finally do what you are supposed to do. 11:11 on the clock as I'm saying this. No, I'm not joking. I can show you. It's 11:11 right now. And I'm still talking about group number 2, and I still have to record group number 3. Let's see if I can make it. I will not make it before the 2nd of October, but I still want to upload tonight. We will see if it works. No. What did I want to say? Oh, yeah. So look up where your North Node is and then do your best to walk that path. Do your best. Do it for yourself. Okay, do it for yourself because you will want that for you. And just like for group number 1, I shuffled the Lovers Oracle cards for you just to see if a love message would come up. And the same thing happened again. I don't know, maybe October is not so romantic, or maybe I'm simply not supposed to talk about love in this reading. Maybe I'm supposed to do a different video for that. I don't know. Anyway, I have 2 cards for you. This is the first one that came out. You can look at the image while I listen. You can look at the image while I read the text for you. It says, life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow, you will be surprised where it leads. This more or less fits what I just said anyway. And then we have the reflection card, and this is the picture. Again, a blue butterfly. I keep talking about group number 1, I'm sorry. But once again, maybe you feel drawn to group number 1. Okay, the reflection card says, give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. So this is actually a relationship message. So if you are in a relationship and this resonates with you, then this is for your relationship. If you're not, then especially the second sentence is important right now. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. Okay, you will be fine, group number 2. Don't worry at all. I have a very positive feeling throughout your entire reading. Really, the energy is for group number 1, it was quite content. For you, it's a bit higher. Like it's not the most joyous I ever felt, but it is like, yeah, let's go. It's more like exciting. It's like um your boss told you you will start a new project on Monday, and you already know what the project is about, and you have this exciting feeling. Okay, this is what it is. So then I actually just wanted to have one card, but you got four. This is the Wishcraft Oracle card. So I asked Spirit which wish will be fulfilled for group number 2 in October. And the first card, which also goes hand in hand with all the other cards so far, is this one, and it's the crown. Look at the image. It is so beautiful. Okay, I'm saying this because you're probably not looking at the screen. Maybe you're listening to this in podcast style, but look at the image. The card is so beautiful. So it says the crown. I am a good leader. We also had with the tea leaves the throne. We had the throne cards. So stepping into a place of authority. Something is going on. I don't know what it is, but I want to know, so tell me. And then this card comes up often. There's so many cards in this deck, but every time I shuffle, this card comes up. Maybe it's the same people over and over again who are receiving this message. I don't know, but you can let me know in the comments if you had this card before in one of my readings. It says, Happy magic for pets. Animals are my friends. I am kind and loving to them. And I also feel that this is a blessing for your pet if you have one. So your pet, I want to say your cat, but your pet will be blessed this month, okay? Definitely. And then you had the candle magic. It says every day things get better as you step into your North Node journey. Every day things get better. Okay, light up some candles in your home. Of course, be careful, okay? But light up some candles in your home. It will change the energy a bit. And then positively, it will change it positively. And your last card is love your body. I love my body, is what it says, okay? So this is I ask Spirit, which wish will be fulfilled for group number 2. Whatever it has to do with your body or your health, your self-image, it is very positive in group number 2. So in October it is very positive. Okay, so everything looks great to me, and I hope you like this reading, and I hope it helped. You can like and subscribe if you want to. If not, well, then don't. But I would still be happy to see you in my next reading. Goodbye, group number 2. Hi, group number 3, and welcome to your October reading. I have a lot of cards for you. Let's start with the tarot cards. These 3 cards came out in reverse, all of them together at the same time. You have the 2 of Swords in reverse, the 8 of Wands in reverse, and also the Empress in reverse. So what does this mean? The first 2 cards, of course, very positive. So the 2 of Swords in reverse means you can stop fighting. I don't know what you have been fighting, and maybe you also don't know, because the person in the 2 of Swords is blindfolded. It's like you have been always prepared, always in defense mode, always ready to fight, because for some reason you had to. Maybe this comes from your childhood, that you are always in defense mode. And every time, like let's say at work, somebody calls your name, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? You know what I mean? So you're always ready to fight, but not in a, how should I say, in this way of, oh, I'm so cool, I just fight everyone, I'm a bully. No, not at all. It was more like there was always something that you had to fight, but you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to. The same with 9 of Wands. You don't have to basically hide yourself from people anymore, or you don't have to create plan A, B, C, D, E, because you're so afraid that something will not work out. And because you have been in that mode for such a long time, your creativity had been blocked. because that's the Empress. Your creativity had been blocked. So whatever you have been working on, it either didn't work out so well, or something inside of you knew that you have this blockage. Maybe you are a writer, maybe you like painting, maybe, I don't know, dancing, whatever it may be. Or maybe you just really like watching TV shows, but instead of watching something new, you kept watching the same old sitcom over and over again. This could also, I know it's a very weird example, like we would rather understand an example like writer's blockage, but that can also play a role. It's when you are on autopilot mode, you are on autopilot. That's when you don't even have the mental capacity, you don't even have the energy to watch something new, to watch a new TV show, to go to a new park, to try a new kind of ice cream or whatever. Okay, so that was you for a long time, but we're talking about October. So these things are changing now. It starts right away with the Ace of Wands. So you have the chance to do something that is very authentic to you. Okay, something that you have always been wanting to do. And it can be something big, like maybe you always wanted to go to acting school or something like that. Or it can be something small, such as you stepping up at work and saying, you know what? I want to have the lead role in this project. I want to do this because I know how it works. That can also be something big, you know? So I said something small, but I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking of examples. Maybe you finally put on that lipstick that you bought a long time ago because you actually know that it suits you very, very well, but you didn't dare to do so. But I actually think, looking at all of your tarot cards, that we are talking about a bigger picture here, a much bigger picture, because next came the World card. There is something that means the world to you, an idea that you always had, something that you always wanted. So this can be every single aspect of your dream life, or it can be one particular aspect of your dream life. Something, because we also have the Two of Wands here, something that you have always been dreaming of. You can see in the Two of Wands, the person is holding a globe and looking into the distance. So something that you always wanted to do, or you always wanted to achieve this, you always wanted to have this. And as I said, with the World card, it means the world to you. And now the energies are very positive, and the universe can work very well in your favor. But here's the thing, you have to put in the work. So you cannot lean back and wait for things to happen. You actually have to put in the work to achieve this. And you have to be very careful, because it is possible for you, but you cannot lose yourself in just dreaming about it, because that's what the Two of Wands say. Don't lose yourself in just dreaming about it. You have to actually take action, which is the yucky part that we actually rather not do. But as the saying goes, which I don't know how it is in English, but it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Did I say it correctly? I don't know if that's how the saying goes, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey, because you don't know how amazing the journey can be. Right now, you just see your to-do list. Okay, you just see, oh, I have to do that, and then that, and then that, and everything is exhausting, everything is difficult, everything is so hard. Why can't I just have it? But actually, in fact, you don't know right now, at the moment, how the journey will unfold and what can happen on that journey. I also don't know, because I don't have the cards for this, but the fact that I even got to this point, that I'm telling you this, is part of your message. So maybe in an upcoming reading you will receive more information regarding this. No idea, because it's the classic thing to talk about career. It doesn't have to be, of course, but it's an easy example, so I use it as an example now as well. Maybe there's something that you want to achieve on your career, in your career. And right now, you only see all of the work that you have to put in order to be successful. But what you don't see is how successful the project or the work or whatever will actually be. And what you don't see is how it can fulfill you in ways that you could never imagine. And what you don't see is all the people that you can meet on that journey. Okay, so these are just examples, but it depends on your particular situation. Okay, so I mean, you can let me know in the comments, so maybe I can create a reading specifically for that. I don't know if it's possible, then sure, why not. And why do I say this? Because we have the Five of Wands. So Spirit is saying to you, you have to fight for what you want. Okay, you have to do that. You have to put in the action. And it can be very prosperous because you have the Page of Pentacles. It is worth it. So you're not fighting for nothing. If this is the reason, if this is what is holding you back, if this is the thing where you're like, I don't know if I should actually do this because I don't know what the outcome will be. The Page of Pentacles is just the beginning. I have more tarot cards for you, group number 3. Okay? It is worth it. You have to trust. Because the next card is the Wheel of Fortune. It's a Wheel of Fortune. You can make the Wheel of Fortune turn into your favor heavily. Okay? I don't know why I said heavily. I just want to emphasize it. So this can change your destiny profoundly. Okay? It can change your destiny if you truly make the decision to do this, to walk this path. And there will be times here with the Eight of Swords, there will be times that are tough. And there will be times where you're like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I need a break. And that is okay. Taking a break is okay, but giving up is not okay. And what Spirit is saying to you, so the advice that they give you is to work on this. As you can see, the man is working on these Eight of Pentacles. Do these things one by one. Right now, you see the whole picture. This is why it's overwhelming. Okay, so you don't even know where to start. It is way too much. But Spirit is telling you, do as this man in this picture is doing, one after the next. This person is keeping their head down and concentrating on this one thing only. And this is what you are supposed to do, one step after the next. And after a while, you will look up and see how much you have already created. Do you see all of these pentacles here on that tree trunk? One after the other has been created. And you focusing on the thing right in front of you will make you so successful, and you will not even realize after a while how much you have actually already achieved. Keep going, group number 3, because the time of heartbreak is over. The time of feeling defeated, of losing, no matter how much effort you put into something, those days are over. You can see it here with the Three of Swords in reverse. I am so happy to see the Three of Swords in reverse, because unfortunately this card comes up quite often. It really loves me a lot in readings that I do for myself or that I watch on YouTube as well from other creators, but it comes upside, okay? Upright. Oh, I always mix up upside and upright. It comes out upright for me constantly, and it pisses me off. But for you, it's upside down, meaning that the time of heartbreak, of hardship is over. What's the journey that you are taking on, what you're taking on here with the Hermit is something quite serious. So you could already see that with the World card. It is something that is very, very important to you. Maybe something that you have been working on, or at least sitting on, thinking about, contemplating for a very, very long time. The Hermit is a very wise person. They have been in hermit mode for who knows how long, so long so that the beard grew so long and is already gray, white and gray, and it brought them enlightenment. This is why There's always a light in the Hermit card, no matter which tarot card deck you have. So at least in every Hermit card that I've seen so far, there was always a lamp or something shining, like maybe the moon in the background, something like that. That shows enlightenment. Maybe you think that you don't know enough, but you actually know enough. Maybe you're someone who suffers from imposter syndrome, but you can do it, group number 3. But you know what? As I just said that, I don't think that that's true. I had this feeling of, no, I'm not on the right track. It's not about you not knowing that you know how it works. It's about you not taking the action. And for you, I have the sense that it is not fear of failure. You're not afraid of failing. For you, it's fear of success. Something that a lot of people don't know that it actually exists, and it is a huge problem, such as fear of failure. And fear of success happens when we actually never experienced success before, because this is such a stretch for our brain. It is so different for our body, for our feeling, for our nervous system, that we try to protect ourselves from it. I actually talked about something similar in group number 2. Every group today is connected, every group. Okay, anyway. And I'm just saying, in case you want to check out the other 2 groups as well. So for you, it feels like it's more like fear of success. But group number 3, don't be afraid. Be completely 100% honest with yourself. How do you feel with your life right now? Or how do you feel in general with your life, how it unfolded in the past few years? Because maybe you're like, oh, actually, Lola, today it's fine. But maybe in the past few years, things were not exactly as you wanted them to be. And you know that it is inside of you. A better future is inside of you. So a better life is inside of you. And it really, really wants to come out. It really wants to come out. The last tarot card that I have for you, I have some more oracle cards, okay? But the last tarot card that I have for you is the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups. You will be successful. You will be victorious. All you have to do is to put in the work, okay? But it is not as overwhelming as you think it is. The universe is on your side, definitely, always and forever. But the thing is also that with the eclipse, everything is changing and transforming now. So if you use this energy to your advantage, it will put you, I don't know how many steps ahead. Things will work out for you much faster than they would work out for you in any other time of your life. Okay, I'm thinking right now as I'm saying this, in case you're wondering, okay, the eclipse is really not that crazy, not that amazing and powerful. But in my mind, I heard the word Saturn return. Maybe you already had your Saturn return. This usually happens at the ages 27, 28, 29, and then again after 29 years. So what is that? One plus the other, so 50 something. It happens again, and it can also happen a third time in your life. I mean, if you're lucky, if you depends on if you consider that lucky, or however long you live, you can even have a fourth Saturn return, but very unlikely. But you can for sure have 3, and the first one usually happens at 27, 28, 29. It hits women especially hard, men as well, but it hits women harder. This is why a lot of women change their career, for example, at 29 years old. It doesn't have anything to do with any biological reasons. Of course, these things can go hand in hand, but it actually has to do with your Saturn return. So let's say whatever you wanted to do, you would do during the time of your Saturn return. I mean, you can try, but usually in those years, Saturn has different ideas for us. It's a perfectionist, and then you wouldn't have it so easy. But now with the eclipse, where everything is changing anyway, and the universe is propelling you to a different place anyway. You can work with that energy and put in the effort now. Don't postpone whatever you want to do. Don't postpone it, group number 3. Don't be like, okay, I do it next month. No, don't do it next month. Do it today. I'm pretty sure, because as I said, you right now you see the whole picture and it is a lot too much for you to handle. But I'm pretty sure if you break it all down into tiny steps, we talked about the 8 of Pentacles. I said it to you. Work on it step by step. Where's the card? Where are you? Oh, here. If you work on it step by step, you will reach your goal faster than you think. And if you break it down into tiny steps, maybe there even is something that you could do today. Even if it's just creating that plan, that can actually be quite fun. Breaking everything down into tiny steps, whatever it is that you want to reach in life, whatever this may be. Now, I have these coffee cup oracle cards for you. The first card that came out was the Dove with peace and serenity. I can tell that your journey is really blessed. There is no turbulence. Okay, so excitement, sure, but there's no turbulence. There's actually nothing in your way except for yourself. And I know it sucks to hear, because then we cannot blame anyone else. I wish we could always blame someone else. But in this case, the power is actually truly in your hands. So you can see there's peace, that you're not in war with other people. You also don't have to be in war with yourself. Anything is possible for you right now. The next card that came out was the Gazelle with change and purity. Okay, I don't know what it is. I'm just realizing it now with the Dove card and now the Gazelle and Purity card, that you're wishing for something that is actually very pure. And now I have a vision of the well card and the tea leaf cards, which also came out in group number 2. I'm saying it, all groups are connected today. The well card from the tea leaves talks about family wishes coming true. So maybe this pure wish that you have is maybe creating a family, something like that. But something is hindering you, whatever it may be. With all the tarot cards, Spirit is telling you it is definitely possible for you. Take it one day at a time, step by step. Everything is possible. And lastly, you got the Horse with freedom and action. I already said take action. This is what Spirit tells you. And also with the Horse card, freedom is possible for you. And for you, it's not like what people always say, oh, you have to free yourself from the 9 to 5 and become a business owner and so on and so forth. It's actually not for everybody. That's the truth. Okay, it's not for everybody. Freedom is very personal. You have to decide for yourself. But for you, it feels like something internal, freeing yourself maybe from bad habits, freeing yourself from constantly thinking about your past, something like that, which is also a bad habit, constantly thinking about your past. You know what I mean? And by the way, I think I actually have a card for that. Oh, yeah. Okay. I actually shuffled these love oracle cards for every single group because I really wanted to have some love messages for you. I really did. I was hoping to receive some love messages, and a little love is inside of these cards. So relationship kind of love, but actually not so much. So okay. Which one was the first card? I think it was this. Yeah, forgiveness. Okay, here you can look at the image while I read the card for you. It says, forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Which is what I was just saying. Maybe your bad habit is to constantly think of the past, things that happened in the past. It is over now. It's over with this transition that is taking place for humanity, for everybody. You are stepping into a new experience. Why would you take the stuff from the past with you? Leave it behind. Leave it behind. It's not worth it anymore. Okay? You have been thinking all of these things through back and forth, okay, from left to right. Let's say you were in conflict with somebody. a disagreement, a misunderstanding, whatever. You have thought about that situation 100 times more than the other person did. There's nothing to do with the situation anymore. At some point, we just have to let it go. And this just let it go, it sucks so much. It sucks more than live, laugh, laugh. Okay? I know. I know that it does. But this is what I'm saying. You have thought things over and over and over again. There is nothing left to think about anymore. All you can do is repeat these things. Or you can make space in your head, in your mind, in your soul, in your heart for new experiences, for positive experiences. Leave this BS behind. Leave it behind. It's not worth it. You deserve so much better than that, group number 3. All of that baggage is not deserving of being taken with you into the next part of your life. Absolutely not. Now, the next card that I have from this Oracle card deck, it says, criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. So you're either in a relationship, so this is exactly for that topic, or maybe it has to do with the disagreement I just talked about. And then mainly the message is like, accept that people are who they are and then let it go. Or it's also possible that this talks about yourself. Accept yourself the way you are. Okay? Don't forcefully try to change yourself. You are perfectly fine the way you are. Okay? Yes, you are. I said what I said. And then the last card is the healing card. I don't think I'm allowed to show this. The last card is the healing card, and it says, imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light, or your beloved. Beloved. Okay, sorry, I start again. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. This is actually a spiritual practice that you can do. You can even see it in the cards with the color blue. Imagine yourself being surrounded by blue light. You can also do this at night if you struggle falling asleep, if you struggle with nightmares. But you can do this all the time, every day. So it's not just for that, but you can do that all the time, because blue light works as protection. Okay, so you can basically call in a protective shield around you. You can do this for yourself, or you can do this with everyone you are in a room with. It is a bit more difficult, takes a bit more power to do this for someone who is far away, where you do this in your imagination for the other person, but it is possible. This is light work. Okay, it is possible. Wait, I have to check for a second if I'm still recording. Okay, yeah. I would not record this again, just so you know. Of course I would, but I would be mad. Okay, then I have 2 more cards here from this animal spirit animal oracle card deck. The first one that came out is the deer with love, and this is really a theme that I can see in your cards. It has a lot to do with self-love. I think you really need a big portion of self-love for yourself. I can see right now a bathtub in my mind. Spirit wants you to do some self-care, okay? The self-care, by the way, does not include fast food, says the girl who ordered pizza today. But it doesn't. I know this. I knew it the moment I ordered the pizza. But self-love can or should be something internal that then shows on the external. But we can also work with this on the other way around. You can do something external that then impacts your internal. So with a salt bath, for example. Okay, but let's say what the card says. So here's a message. I read it for you, but you can look at the deer card first if you like. It says, be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. And then you have the lizard with regeneration. The lizard with regeneration. And it says, As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. What did I say? Everyone is changing now. We are all transitioning now with this eclipse. And this card is saying, put on your new cloak. And it doesn't say put on your new cloak on top of your old cloak. They tell you to leave the old cloak behind. It is time for a completely new experience. And I know it is it can make us anxious, but it can also make us excited. Turn the anxiousness into excitement. Okay? um, you can do this by not overthinking, which is easier said than done, but you can stop overthinking by focusing on the outside instead of the inside. You know how people say, if you cannot meditate, look at, I don't know, how does it go? 5 things you can see, 4 things you can smell, or something like that. I don't know exactly, but maybe this is something that works for you. Okay, so focus more on the outside instead of what is going on in your head. And you can use self-care as a tool. Okay, so put on your favorite show, watch Gilmore Girls or something. I don't know why I thought of Gilmore Girls. It feels so cozy, especially now in October. Turn on a candle, make a cup, make a cup of tea, and then just put on your skincare. Okay, and the thing is, if you put on a TV show on the background, you focus more on their dialogue than on the dialogue that is going on in your head. And if there's something you really have to handle, of course, then do that. Handle whatever is going on. As we talked about the project in the beginning, maybe there's a plan that you can make. But be honest with yourself. If the thoughts in your head are truly overthinking, meaning repetitive, you're thinking of the same thing over and over and over again, even though you actually honestly already know how to solve the problem. You actually know how. Like on paper, you know how. It's just the emotion that bothers you. Then it's time for distraction. Okay, I talked about this not in my last video, but the video before. What was the name? The thumbnail said you will get through this. I had an hour-long intro. I talked a lot about this. Go to that video. I'm dead serious right now, group number 3. No, this is not about you, about me making you watch another video. I know for a fact that that hour in the beginning has a lot of messages for you. It can help you a lot, a lot. I did not say this to group number 1 or 2. I'm saying this to you because I can sense it, because I feel like more or less giving you the same monologue that I did again. But for what? I mean, I already recorded it. So go to that reading. It's not the last one. The last one was the future spouse reading. The one I did before that. Okay, it's called You Are Getting Through This. You will get through this. Something like that. Okay, you will find it on my channel. It's not like I have so many videos. So lastly, I felt drawn to shuffle these angel oracle cards, which I don't use often, but I feel like I say that in every reading, that I don't use something often. Okay, so the first card says to walk into a new direction. Okay, take a new path, walk into a new direction. This goes hand in hand with you leaving the past behind. Do something new. You were blocked. Your creativity was blocked for a long time with the Empress in reverse. But now with the Ace of Wands, things are possible for you again. Take on a new journey. It will be successful. And then you have the situation will improve. Okay, this situation will improve. Here you can see a woman down in the ocean with all the fish and the dolphins and whatnot, but she's swimming up, so it's like she's leaving the ocean, and the ocean is filled with water, of course, and in spirituality that stands for the feminine energy, so for the internal energy. And what do we have internally? Our emotions. So you were deep in your emotions, deep in your feelings, but you're coming out of that. You're coming out of that now. Then we also have the card of love relationship. This was the only card that came out. I don't have anything else. I wish I did, but okay, we have separate reading topics because of this. So maybe my last reading, the future spouse reading, helps you. I don't know, but maybe it does. Or upcoming readings help you. If you want to, you can subscribe so you don't miss them. But yeah, this card also came up for you. And then we have this one. I already said it. It says be active. So you have to put in the work. Okay, you have to actively do something. Now I notice that there's this horse again, which talks about freedom. So if you put in the action, you can free yourself from whatever is holding you back at the moment. May it be you, your habits, may it be people, may it be any kind of circumstance. You taking the action, which will be easy with the current energies, much easier than you think right now. You don't believe me, I know that. But it's much easier than you think right now, and it will work out fine. Is somebody here from Ireland? Someone here is from Ireland, or somebody here likes to eat red meat, because I have that taste in my mouth right now. Somebody here likes to eat red meat. Somebody here likes to eat stews. You know, a stew, do I say it correctly? You know, like a soup, kind of. A stew, with a beef stew with potatoes or something. I know it's in a lot of countries have this, but I remember I was in Ireland 10 years ago when I was in school in Dublin, and we went to an Irish restaurant, and I was thinking of that because I can see that dish in my mind's eye. Something from 10 years ago. Can you imagine, group number 3? I can see that dish in front of me. There was this beef stew and there was this fresh bread. It was amazing, by the way. So somebody, maybe you cooked something like that recently, or you are hungry right now and you think about eating meat. Somebody here is actually from Ireland, or somebody comes from a country that has a similar cuisine, because my family is from the Middle East. I was born and raised in Europe, but my family is from the Middle East, and they actually have the same dish. So I was surprised. I remember that 10 years ago when I was in that Irish restaurant, and they had the exact same dish in a authentic traditional Irish restaurant. So maybe it's something like that. I don't know why this suddenly came up. Is my roommate maybe cooking and I smelled it? No. No, it's part of your reading. That's so crazy. Almost at the end, because this is the last card that I have, and then this beef stew came up. Okay, so we had the card of taking action, and the very last card is believe in it. Trust that it will work out, because it will work out. Okay? Everything will be fine. I know that for sure. Group number 3, you can do this. You can handle this. I know that you can. Don't lie to me. Okay, I know when you're lying because I'm psychic. No. Okay, I stop with the jokes now. This is all I have for you for October. If you want to, you can subscribe and hit like, and also leave a comment if you want to, but you don't have to, but I would appreciate that very much. I will see you very soon, group number 3. Goodbye.